welcome to Show and Talk. I am sitting here with actor, director, he's a lot of things, Jason Marsden. Jason, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks.
Sure. So I'm just going to get right into it, and
Let's do it.
tell me a little bit about your origin story. We'll go from there.
My origin story, well, on a planet in a far distant galaxy. That's a completely different story. Originally from Rhode Island, the biggest little state in the Union. Lived there till I was like 8. Lived in a place I think you're familiar with, Pittsburgh. Lived there for a couple of years. Went to elementary school at Point Park College, your alma mater, right?
Yeah.
And then my parents decided to try their fortune in California. My father's a ballet teacher, choreographer. And so we sold all our stuff in Pittsburgh and Rhode Island, severed ties there, took a van, drove across country, my first cross-country trip. Me and my parents, 2 cats. And we ended up in Orange County, California. And about that time, we're there and we're settling in, and people are asking my mother if, like, oh, your son's cute, you should get him into acting. Is he into acting? You should get him in. He's adorable. How about acting? So my mom went, all right, let's try this out. Found me a workshop school in Irvine called Del Mar Media Arts, which is still there. And they're responsible for like getting me my start. They trained me. They did like 12 weeks theatrical commercial, 12 weeks voiceover, and it was like all ages. It was me and adults and teenagers, completely mixed. From there, sent me to an agent. Agent signed me on the spot. Started sending me out on everything: commercials, TV, film, voiceover, and I always say I'm like right place, right time. Fortunate, maybe talent. I don't know. We'll see. Around that time, if you flash back to like 1987, it's like every kid on TV was like dark-haired, bowl cut. I fit that description perfectly.
Yeah. So how long between when you took the classes and when you started, like when you got your first thing, like how much time went between there?
Almost immediately. I mean, the workshop sent me out for like an industrial film, and I booked it. That was like the first thing. And I thought, oh man, this is a piece of cake. Finally got an agent, started submitting me, and it was several auditions before I booked my first gig, which was a radio commercial for Godfather's Pizza. And then I got on like an on-camera McDonald's commercial, and then I booked a part on Webster, the TV series, and General Hospital, and then things started to kind of like unravel after that.
Where before everyone just started saying that, hey, you should be in TV, like did you decide that, like when you were in Rhode Island or Pittsburgh, like was that ever in your mind?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I don't know what kid wouldn't want to be on TV. I definitely did. I had no idea that I would actually be, dropped into my lap. There was a way to tangibly pursue it.
Yeah.
But I used to watch Nickelodeon all the time, and You Can't Do That on Television. I love that. I love that show. And I thought you always had to say like a boot and talk like that in order to be on TV. I didn't know that was a completely other country.
It's true. I don't think I realized that when it was on, but then afterward, it's kind of like, oh, yeah, they were very Canadian.
They were in Canada.
Canada. So yes, I have a couple of tendencies where I think I say a boot, and I definitely say host, but it just comes out very randomly because my friends that are there, like their accents are pretty much identical to mine, except for like those words, and so they stuck out to me, and so now it's the same thing.
Yeah, because Pittsburgh had its own little like weird accent.
They do. I don't have it, and you don't either. Obviously, it's been a while since you've been there.
Yeah, I did. Most, I guess, LA just kind of like the valley.
Yeah.
Took it out of me.
Yeah, Pittsburgh has a very Yinzer accent.
What kind?
I think they call it Yinzer accent.
Yinzer?
Yeah, where they say yins and warder and worsh.
Worsh?
Yeah, I lived there for the majority of my life, and I have a really hard time like saying things like them because I made sure not to speak that way.
Yeah.
I made a very conscious decision that I wasn't going to do that, and then being in theater stuff kind of helped to get rid of that. But
unlearn like certain things, get that elocution out.
Right.
I've always wanted to infuse an R when I say wash. I know, just there's something like old cowboy cool about that.
I don't know, maybe that's a little bit of Pittsburgh in you. Those whole 2 years.
Maybe.
Got you.
I'm just going to wash this down.
With your nice Nashville water.
Yeah, water.
Water. Yeah. I don't know. Whoosh always sounded like, my mom says it's more like whoosh. And I'm just like, that's the sound it makes when you go skiing. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Whoosh.
Yeah. Whoosh your clothes. And I'm like, no, I'm not sending them down a hill. Absolutely not.
I remember our downstairs neighbor gave me a whole lesson on Pittsburghese, and you guys say stuff like usins, and I can't remember all the other ones, but it was a whole thing. And then Rhode Island, there's a whole, I mean, like that's in a different accent, down there. You get some clam chowder.
Yeah.
There's no R's. They eliminate most of the R's there. Call hog. You know what a call hog is? Just, it's like a clam or a mussel, call hog. Hot wieners. We got that. Clam cakes and chowder.
Do they say tonic instead of like soda or pop? I know it's one of those New England states. I can't remember which one.
No, but we do say, when you go to water fountain, they call it a bubbler or bubbler.
Interesting.
You go to school, okay, get a drink from the bubbler. When you're done, am I allowed to reference Wes off camera?
Yeah.
I just did.
That's fine. You can do whatever you
he's
want.
there. I mean, there's like eye contact.
It's
there's,
my
there's
show.
a guy
I have
off
no
camera
rules.
that he's not allowed to talk to us, but I'm going to include him in as much as possible.
We talked to our other camera guy in the last interview too. He said, I don't have any rules. Maybe one day I'll have rules. But it'll happen when someone does something, and I'm like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do that again. Yeah. So do whatever you want. You may become the cause of me having a rule.
Okay.
But as of right now, there are none.
I hope it's not that after the next one, it'll be like, okay, so don't talk to Wes.
Don't
Don't
ever.
reference him.
I know. Well, if I say that, then it sounds like I abuse all of my crew, and that is not true.
Is it true? He's nodding yes and crying.
We need to work on that. That's supposed to happen after the shoot is over. Tears should not happen right now. Awesome. So there are a lot of people that talk about the kind of child actors now. When you think about it, everyone thinks about the Miley Cyrus's and Lindsay Lohan's and everything, and see that. But you're part of a whole other generation of child actors.
Really, I would associate myself with the level of success of Lindsay Lohan. And
Oh no, not so
Miley
much
Cyrus
success.
and
I'm thinking about the
attractiveness, the bizarre clothing, and yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Great. I'll just gonna let you keep going. But I guess, if you think of people, I was listening to an interview with Neil Patrick Harris, and a lot of people, because they are still actors now, don't really remember, oh yeah, they acted back in that time. Kind of the same thing where there's a whole generation of people that don't know who Paul McCartney or Missy Elliott is. It's just a very new time. So if you think about child actors, people always think about kind of the new one. But to see the level of, actually not even so much the level, I don't really know where I'm going with this either. I kind of want to talk about that.
What separates, why'd you bring up Miley Cyrus and Lindsay Lohan? Why them as examples?
Well, mostly because they're who I'm able to think of, because I'm not part of the generation that thinks of them as child actors, so those are the only two that kind of came to mind. But I guess there are people that have gone through in that time and have been okay. Even going not that much further back, but Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake were both on the new version of the Mickey Mouse Club.
That's right.
And other sorts of things like that. So I guess, I don't know, maybe my point is or what I'm trying to get at, I don't really know. This is why I don't talk a lot. I make everyone else talk.
There you go.
But I guess thinking of because those are the things that stick out in your mind, or kind of the non-success stories.
You just said sex.
Yeah, like I said, no rules here. We talk about anything. Because of those stories, those are the ones that seem to stick out in people's minds more so than the others. Was it being a child actor and now being an adult actor? How is that transition? Trying to go from one to the other.
Okay. Let's see if I can color up all of that, because I want to reference the Miley Cyrus, Lindsay Lohan thing.
Yeah, I want you to talk generally about the whole being a child actor in the '80s sort of thing, and if you see any difference versus now.
For me, with my experience, I was very fortunate. I had a good support system. Parents, the shows I worked on. Were always I never worked on the shows were assholes and yellers and problematic people. There was always a good feel on the sets that I was on. So I absorbed good habits, I think the trajectory of my success and by success, I mean like I've been fortunate enough to work pretty much steadily since then. I'm not Tom Cruise. I'm not like household name famous, which to some people that's not successful. But I have there's 1%, maybe 2% of Screen Actors Guild actors who are working, and I'm one of them. Not being like thrust into like superstardom like Justin Bieber, who has I feel has a poor support system, and too much attention, too much accolades at once can be, when you're that young, it can really fuck you up. I've at least had a lot of people be like, okay, you're doing good, but let's come down off your pedestal a little bit. I had a lot of that, I feel Miley Cyrus had that, at least enough support system to like be. I'm a fan of hers. I don't care what anyone says. I saw her concert and it was outrageous. I've never seen like such a young girl like so in touch with herself and her sexuality, and she's got talent to back it up. I feel maybe she had a good support system, good guidance, and was guided to be the artist that she is now. Lindsay Lohan, I don't know what happened there. She's very talented. Poor support system, I guess. Drugs and alcohol can't really be a good mix. I never really did that until I was like in my 20s, but that was like me and my upbringing. My parents impressed upon me like, you shouldn't do that. You are who you hang with. You're straight line to jail. Even though my parents smoked weed, when I was younger, I had no idea until I got older. I was a little hypocritical. It's just guidance. This is a business. It is not show friends. It is show business. And I've definitely watched buddies of mine who have had great success have the rug suddenly like yanked out from under you, and they're sitting there going like, "Where's my attention?" And with anybody, where's my attention? It could be, you can go into depression. You can start to feel pretty shitty about yourself. Because this business is so tantalizing. When you do book a really cool job, you get the hairdressers and the costume, and you get to play pretend, you get gobs of money, sometimes you get flown exotic places. It's intoxicating. And when you lose it, it's like, it's no different than being a gambler, really.